Hey everyone, this is Hill Street Soul, and you're tuned in to The Core with the Millennial Coach, discussing topics on real life. Check it out. Everywhere you go, don't forget the ghetto. Listen to The Core.
Hey guys, ooh, it's me, the Millennial Coach, and I am bringing in a new show for you guys, and it is the video version of my podcast, which I do as audio, called The Core. So welcome to The Core. So I just want to say one thing. I'm partially blind, so that's why this eye sometimes drifts over there, but pay attention, okay? So pay attention. So it's not as bad as it looks. I can kind of see, but not 100%. But we're good. So I want to welcome you to The Core. If it's your first time to anything I've ever done, then welcome. You are going to be reoffended so many times. I'm going to be reoffending, not you, but you're going to enjoy being offended. So don't worry about that. So this show is really about how to basically get your life together. Literally, I am a transformational coach. I've been doing it for about 10 years. I used to work in television, but that's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother day. So I'm not going to talk about that today. But I do want to just say that welcome to a show that's going to help you with professional and personal tools. So before we start, I want to every episode I am going to do a hot topic about, because I miss Wendy Williams, right? I miss Wendy Williams, and I wish she wasn't ill, and I hope that she's doing well and she's having a speedy recovery. But I do want to pay homage to Wendy because, you know, your hot topics just had me literally laying on the floor, and I can attest to looking forward to my 40 minutes on YouTube of watching the Wendy Williams show. So I do want to just give a shout out to Wendy Williams. So my hot topic is, I think that whoever decided to do the Real Housewives of South Africa, they have a girls' trip. Just stop it. Housewives, stop fighting. Let's elevate. Let's think about bringing products, services, projects, and elevating. If I could have the top housewives, they would be Candy Burruss. So, you know, if you're out in the club, don't think I'm not. So I'd have Candy Burruss. I would then have Lisa Vanderpump. I would have Cynthia Bailey. She's so lovely. I would have, I don't know. I like Dorinda. I like Dorinda from the original of New York. But Dorinda, you don't seem to take accountability for things, and I just don't understand what is happening there. Like, when you're saying, I made it nice, then if you don't like people coming to your house and you know how these women behave, don't invite them to the Berkshires. Just don't do it, because it just doesn't make sense. I made it nice. But what, Dorinda, I have to say, I think you're so dope. But what you do is you blame everyone when you are in the wrong. So I just want to point that out. Okay. And if we can have Melissa Giudice, she is so adorable. I adore her. And I love Joe Giudice. That will be my Real Housewives. Not even just a girl trip. That would just be a Real Housewife edition, and just having these women. Because then all of those women are just about being kind to each other. And that's what I want to see. I don't want to see, I don't like you, this person said that. I just think to myself, we're on this planet not for a long time. Well, some of us are not dying. So, you know, life expectancy has extended. So some of us are here for a long time. So if we're going to be here for a long time, let's be nice about it. Yeah. So I want to talk today about being the CEO of your life. So I'm going to link the actual music shows that I create that is based around these subjects. So you can hear the whole 2 hours and you can vibe to tunes and it's all different genres, and there's guests and all sorts on my show. So I'm going to talk about the CEO of your life, and I want to talk to you guys about intrinsic motivation. I've got my laptop here, so if I'm looking over here, it's not because I'm trying to ignore you, but I'm just looking at my laptop. All right. So when we've got intrinsic motivations, most of the time and this is part one, by the way, right? So this is my very first episode. So there's going to be a lot of stuff that is not going to go right, but we're going to keep it moving. Okay. So with intrinsic motivation, it's really about what you do from the inside out. So intrinsic motivation really is behaviors that really impact your internal rewards system. If you don't know what your intrinsic values are, think about, why do you go to work in the morning? Why do you date the person that you date? Why do you wear the clothes that you wear? Why do you, I don't know, do your hair the way you do your hair? That is an internal reward. You want to feel a certain way, and then the extrinsic value is what you get from it. It may be that you're going to an event and you want to look a certain way. So that's the extrinsic, but your intrinsic value is based on your internal reward system. Okay. So when you do something, always consider why you're doing it. And a lot of the time when we're talking about intrinsic value from a leadership or self-leadership perspective, I don't think a lot of people actually think about what their intrinsic values are. And sometimes I've worked with people where they say to me, oh, I'm not happy that this person keeps asking me to do something, because they haven't done it from a place within. They've done it from a place of maybe expectancy. Sometimes, like you have your parents might ask you, oh, can you do something? You don't want to do it. And my parents are Ghanaian. So, any Ghanaian or Nigerian, so West Africans, I just clump Nigerians and Ghanaians together because we're very similar, right? But a lot of the time we do things and we don't want to do it, but it's cultural. So your mum will say, hey, go and get the shopping. And you're like, I'm busy. But you cannot say that aloud. You say it under your breath. I'm kind of a different kind. I've been a different type of child. I've been quite vocal, and I'll be like, I'm not doing that right now. I'm busy. So you need to go and call someone else. That's the child that I am. So I have my internal rewards that this doesn't add value. My mom one time said to me, can you go and weed the garden? Do I look like a gardener? At what I go to the gym, I go to the garden maybe to just get some sun rays and enjoy and get as dark and beautiful as possible. But I'm not going to the garden to be digging. I haven't got time for that. So think about what your intrinsic values are. And the thing is, it's got to satisfy you, whatever you do. You've got to remember, when you do something, you leave that experience joyful. So going to get the shopping doesn't leave you joyful, then reconsider whether you want to do it. Okay. It's not always about, oh, I've got to please my mum. Because unfortunately, and I think I've had to teach my parents, it's not always about you lot. Sometimes as a person, human being, whether I'm your child or I'm not your child, I also have the yes and no thermometer in my spirit. So it's not always going to be a yes because you are the elder. You're the elder, you got legs, you got hands also. And you people can say, hey, you are being rude. Yes, I'm being rude if that's how you want to take it. But also, what you have to understand, we grow up. We are not children. So Africans, they will talk to you as if you're 12 when you're 50. I'm so sorry, but I will not be tolerating that kind of behavior. So my parents are very clear, and I'm very clear about who I am. So leading and being the CEO of your life, really cultivate, when you have space, write down what are the things that make you happy, and then focus on different areas of your life. So you might decide spiritually, you enjoy praying or you enjoy meditating, or financially, okay, I'm going to caveat this because I think a lot of people like to spend. I like to see when, you've done an investment and there has been some type of return. So you might be a serial investor. So, crypto, it crashed. You got the EYL guys, earn your leisure if you don't know what I'm talking about, and my boyfriend Rashid, or Rashad, sorry. But I do have other boyfriends. So we'll be talking about, Shannon Sharp and all these other men that I'm in love with later on. Okay. But let's just talk about Rashad. When he says, hey, it's Rashad, I just like, oh, oh. And then you got Ian Dunlop. He's so fine. Like, you know. Anyway, let me just stay on track, guys. I'm sorry. See, I'm moving. I'm getting a little bit emotional about the mandem. But anyway, so your intrinsic values. This is why, to me, coaching should be fun. Coaching shouldn't be, painful, or change shouldn't be painful. It is emotionally painful because you have to let go of a lot of things that you've been doing. And when I coach people, I can guarantee you something. I've had people with tears. I've had people asking me when the sessions are finished, can we still be friends? And that's really nice. But I want to make sure that what you've come to me for, you've been able to get the results. The coaching is not something to take lightly. And at the moment, my other pet peeve about coaching, this is, I say, the first episode, so I'm getting a lot of stuff out. Everyone wants to be a coach. I've been training for probably about 15 to 20 years, right? And I wanted to coach, but I wasn't sure. So I was working in television and I thought to myself, if I could turn this into something I can make money from, I'm going to do it. And I will never forget the very first workshop I held in my house. I was living in the Middle East at the time. The very first workshop I held at my house, no one turned up. Everyone cancelled. There was about 10 people. They all cancelled. I was heartbroken. Now I'm like, right, do your podcast. I keep hitting the plant, forgive me. Do your podcast, have fun with it, play your music, and now do the video. And because I'm somebody, I know this might surprise some of you, right? This may surprise some of you. I'm quite shy. It's been 4 years in the making that this episode is happening right now, okay, in the lab. So this is the core lab that we're in. So this is where I do all my thinking. I went to the Yves Saint Laurent house in Paris a couple months ago with my girlfriend. She lives in Paris. And I met her when we lived in the same building in Dubai, right? And she and me were just in Yves Saint Laurent's drawing room, or the reinterpretation of it. And I've always done so much work here. I've passed exams here. I've done so much stuff here, all my books, and I like to read and I like to learn, and I have great conversations here. So my little lab is my little place of creation. So think of me as like Yves Saint Laurent, putting those beautiful gowns together, but I put people's lives together. So intrinsic motivation, that's what we're talking about. So I just want to highlight one thing from an author of a book called Psychology: A Concise Introduction, and his name is Richard A. Griggs. He says a person's intrinsic enjoyment of an activity provides sufficient justification for their behavior. Now, why this is important? When you don't enjoy something, you are miserable. Let's just keep it 100. You're miserable. Yeah. So being miserable isn't the way to do anything, because there's no value to you. So if you are going to, like for me, if I was going to get the shopping, my dad's 87 and he is a G. Like, my dad is my favorite person, right? If he said, oh, can you come and do this? Just because he said it, I will do it. Even if I have to do the garden, I will do it just because he asked me, right? Because there's joy in helping somebody as beautiful as my dad in terms of his soul. He's such a kind spirit, kind spirit. And we can laugh about a lot of things. And the thing is, I like to be around people. I remember when it was COVID, right? And they were shutting the gyms. And he said to me, listen, you love going to the gym, so this may be your last chance. So get up and go to the gym. He goes, because you enjoy it so much, you need to go for the very last day before they shut it. And I was like, this guy is such an encourager. I was like, go on, pups. That's it. Tell me what to do. So your intrinsic value brings you joy. So the question that you should be asking yourself today is, whatever I am doing, is the investment bringing me peace, joy, happiness, or even elevating my love stream. Okay, so think about that. I am the Millennial Coach. I hope you've enjoyed my first episode. It was a little bit erratic, but I am not going to edit it because I want to just keep it real. And I want to have fun with this show, and I want you to actually write comments on what intrinsic values you have. And if you get the opportunity, please hit the subscribe button, as they say, wherever it is, up there, down there, sideways, down, I don't know, wherever the subscription button is, press it. That will be really helpful. And the second thing is, hit the links and listen to the full episodes on how to be the CEO of your life, part 1 and part 2. So I am the Millennial Coach. I hope you've enjoyed today's show, and I will see you very soon for part 2 of being the CEO of your life. Peace.